following is a presentation of HBO Sports. It has been said everything is bigger in Texas. Cowboys Stadium stands as a testament to that. It is a lavish billion-dollar endeavor and the largest dome stadium in the world. On March 13th, it will play host to the Manny Pacquiao-Joshua Clottey fight. It's a grand stage befitting one of boxing's biggest stars.
This is the brilliance of the Filipino slugger.
Manny Pacquiao's ascent in boxing has been nothing short of historic.
I've been calling fights for 24 years. I don't remember any other fighter having a streak like Pacquiao has had the last couple of years.
Manny Pacquiao is annihilating Oscar De La Hoya. That is the most spectacular one-punch shot of Manny Pacquiao's incredible career.
We thought Manny Pacquiao was great. He's better than we thought.
His performances were becoming more electric, more exciting. Each time a Manny Pacquiao fight has become an event. He's an absolute phenomenon.
His journey has taken him from the impoverished streets of the Philippines to worldwide fame.
There's a giant romance with Manny Pacquiao, and that giant romance has burst the seams of the boxing cult and now goes into the general sports world.
The Filipino's latest challenge, Joshua Clottey, has fought his way up the ranks from his native Ghana, a West African country with a proud boxing heritage.
That area of Accra where Clottey's from, that's the boxer's area. That's where the badasses come from.
Clottey's always in top shape. He's physically very strong. In an unpredictable sport like boxing, Clottey presents certain problems for anyone.
Hard right hand by Clottey. Miguel Cotto in deep tonight.
On March 13th, Clottey will enter the ring with the odds against him, but the opportunity of a lifetime before him.
Clottey wants to prove that he can win the big one because he's been in title fights before and he came up short. If Clottey beats Manny Pacquiao, instantly Joshua Clottey becomes an elite fighter.
Whatever else he does in the rest of his career, if he beats Manny Pacquiao, March 13th, 2010 will be the greatest night of his life.
2 lives spent in the ring, 2 careers colliding for one night.
You got an icon from the Philippines fighting a tough guy from Ghana in the stadium where America's football team plays. It could only happen in boxing.
This is the road to Dallas. Pacquiao versus Clottey. In January, 2 men sized up each other and the venue where they'd soon stand toe-to-toe instead of side by side.
Show these guys the stadium from your suite.
Let's take a little tour.
Ushered to the private suite of the NFL's most famous owner, these men born in faraway lands first glimpsed the home of America's team.
Amazing stadium. It's a big and new one. I'm very excited to fight like that big stadium.
While one man basked in the bright lights of celebrity, another retreated from their glare. For Joshua Clottey, the surroundings were as imposing as the challenge lying ahead.
It was very, very beautiful. I never see a stadium like that before. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. Am I going to stand in front of this stadium and fight? Come on, it's a blessing.
Manny Pacquiao, Clottey, I can't tell you what it means to have the first fight in the history. We will make it a fight to be remembered in this new stadium.
I think the fight wound up at the new Cowboys Stadium because its owner, Jerry Jones, realizes that Manny Pacquiao is a transcendent name.
When Pacquiao announced his March 13th fight against Clottey, it ended hopes for a showdown against another claimant of the pound-for-pound throne.
Cotto backs into the corner. He's in big trouble now.
Last November, moments after Pacquiao dismantled Miguel Cotto, the stage was set for a fight of epic proportions.
The 50th win of Pacquiao's now legendary career. Next question, is Pacquiao good enough to beat Floyd Mayweather?
It was given that as soon as Manny Pacquiao defeated Miguel Cotto, that the entire boxing world would want to see Pacquiao Mayweather.
People who don't follow boxing would come up to me and say, what's happening with Mayweather Pacquiao? When's it going to happen?
It appeared that it was going to happen because within a matter of just a few days, all issues seemed to have been settled in the negotiation and they were headed forward. And then there was this one more or less unusual issue. Then that was drug testing.
Mayweather insisted that Pacquiao take Olympic-style drug testing. Pacquiao refused. The fight fell apart.
Before negotiations had even begun, Mayweather's camp went to the press with unsubstantiated allegations against Pacquiao of using performance-enhancing drugs.
There's no validation in that accusation because he's never been tested positive. He's been tested every title fight, and he's passed every time. Just because he went from 106 pounds to 147, that means he's on steroids? Well, Floyd Mayweather went from 106 to 154. So, you know, Floyd, are you on steroids too? I mean, it's bullshit.
Manny's not afraid of needles. He's afraid of giving blood. He feels that taking something out of the body as far as his nutrients and the food and all of that, he feels like it zaps him.
When we fought Eric Morales for the first time and he lost that fight, he blames that on the day before the fight we had to give blood.
Now, whether it's valid or not, it's not the thing. And anybody that knows in the sport of boxing, you know, there's a lot of mental preparation that goes into this. So if mentally you feel that something is weak in you or you didn't do something, it's gonna mess with you.
I'm a very clean fighter. I don't even know what is steroid. I don't have idea what is that. Because for me, hard work and faith to God, that's my energy every day.
It was bad for boxing because everyone thought that the fight was so big, it had to happen. Everybody was talking about the fight as though it were made. And then, oh, hold the phone, folks. It's not gonna happen.
As Pacquiao and Mayweather's camps reached an impasse, the door opened for a lesser-known fighter from Ghana.
Joshua Clottey had no idea that he was ever going to be involved. And then suddenly, boom, he gets the call. Here you go, fight this guy, the #1 fighter in the world, in this great new stadium. Millions, maybe billions will watch. 40,000 in the arena. Where you go, kid. Good luck.
I was in Ghana, I'm not even thinking about boxing. I can't even sleep because I was like, hey, I'm fighting with Pacquiao.
For Clottey, the assignment of a lifetime begins in a small apartment in the South Bronx shared with his girlfriend Ruth. He came to the New York City borough 7 years ago and has grown accustomed to running early. Before dawn breaks, Clottey heads to work, an anonymous New Yorker with the streets to himself.
You know, when I was coming to America, I was so hungry that I want to fight with the best, you know, let me be around them. When they're talking about Shamusli, Pacquiao, Coro, Margarita, they should talk about Joshua.
Despite a 15-year pro career, Clottey is a relative unknown among welterweight stars. But the chance to fight Manny Pacquiao can change all that. It is a chance for recognition for himself and his homeland.
I'm from Ghana, Boko. I was born there, I was brought up there, I was living there. I became a boxer. So that's how it is.
Bukum is a section of the capital city of Accra, where there are two options, fishing and fighting. Throughout the neighborhood, the two pursuits are intertwined, as the ropes used here were once used here. It was the area's fishermen who first boxed on the beach, inspiring a storied fighting tradition.
There's a really proud history of really very good Ghanaian fighters. Azuma Nelson, absolutely outstanding featherweight.
This is mostly all Azuma Nelson.
Ike Quartey, really world-class welterweight.
Down goes De La Hoya.
And now along comes Joshua Clottey.
There's an uppercut from Clottey.
Buko made me a lot of tough, very, very tough. It's all about fighting because it's like a place whereby you have to be strong. Even if you're a young kid, you have to, because if you don't, people will beat you.
If you're a young man and you want to prove your manhood, you go to a boxing gym.
It's not like a gym here. Yeah, it's not fancy. There's nothing on there. There's even the ring is not good. Sometimes they don't fight in the ring. Sometimes, if like two kids They argue, oh, I'll beat you. Then they started fighting without no ring.
Today, Clottey has traveled a world away from those streets. After becoming one of Ghana's top amateurs, he turned pro in 1995. While his early career was spent in Europe, it was his 2006 fight against Antonio Margarito that caught the media's attention.
There were many people ringside who scored that fight a draw, thought it was an even fight. That fight lets you know that Joshua Clottey was a world-class welterweight.
2 years later, he defeated Zab Judah for a world title.
From Accra, Ghana, Joshua.
So when I won the title, it was very, very crowded at the airport. A lot of people, the ministers, everybody. They were so happy. Then the next day was the real day for me to show the title to the people of Ghana. It was really, really fun. I want it to happen again.
At John's Gym in the Bronx, Team Clottey assembles as the fighter laces up for the most critical training camp of his career.
For Joshua Clottey, this is a tremendous opportunity. If you beat a legend, and that's what Manny Pacquiao's become, you get some of that. That's gonna rub off on you. Joshua Clottey isn't a star. A very good fighter, but not a star. Manny Pacquiao, star quality. Lots of it. And the great thing about Pacquiao is that he's willing to fight the best out there. He's willing to defend that mythical pound-for-pound king title. And he's the kind of guy who delivers on fight night.
I mean, look at the people he's fought. He sent Oscar De La Hoya into retirement.
And he is gradually reconfiguring De La Hoya's beautiful base.
He destroyed Ricky Hatton in 2 rounds.
Perfect right hand inside. I don't know if Ricky's going to survive this. Oh my gosh, what an amazing knockout shot.
He demolished Miguel Cotto.
Now it's Cotto whose back is against the rope and goes down again. Victory for Pacquiao. I would have to call him an all-time great.
It's been an incredible run over the last couple of years.
I'm very satisfied with my performance last 2 years. Even me, I can't believe what I did, but you know, it's my destiny.
Here at the Wild Card Boxing Club, the Filipino has transformed into an elite fighter showcasing his skills for an equally elite audience.
Manny Pacquiao is Hollywood. When Manny Pacquiao fights in Hollywood, Hollywood celebs go to watch this guy work out.
But before movie star fans poured into the Wild Card to watch his artistry, a boy in the Philippines once plied his craft solely on instinct.
My uncle teach me how to box. He bring me to the boxing arena, and I don't have idea. Oh, my uncle said, okay, you fight with the other, boys, the other kids. Oh, okay, I'm fighting like 3 rounds, and then I won. I make money like 100 pesos, which is $2. That's a big money. I give it to my mom to buy rice and food.
He comes from desperate extreme poverty, and now the very people who wouldn't have had anything to do with him board their private planes and go anywhere around the world to watch him box and pay homage to him. The reversal he's experienced in his life as a Filipino is cosmic. And some of that is behind his reasoning to want to run for public office.
On May 15th, Pacquiao seeks election to a national political seat in the Philippines, hoping to represent his country both in the ring and in Congress.
I just want to show it to the people that I'm not only a world champion in boxing, but to be a champion in service, to be a good public servant.
I wish Manny would finish his boxing career first and then get into politics. The thing is, if he wins the election, I might lose my best fighter.
But now, in Hollywood, the task at hand is Joshua Clottey. And as usual, Pacquiao's entourage, known as the LA Boys, are with him as he prepares for his latest challenge.
And he wants them there. He's comfortable with his homies. He's like a family.
I like to have a lot of friends behind me while I'm training, because They make me laugh, make me relax and take out the stress.
They don't bother me. I mean, just like I said, you have them for 22 hours a day. I'll take them for 2 hours a day and leave it at that.
To escape the bitter cold of the Bronx, Joshua Clottey has himself set up camp in Hollywood, Florida. Yet, several members of Team Clottey remain in Ghana, including the smallest one.
So, this is the reason why I'm fighting boxing. My daughter, Zinat. Zinat, how are you? She is everything I have. She knows everything. She knows too much. She asks me questions that I don't even understand.
10-year-old Zinat Clottey's curiosity extended to her father's performance in his last fight against Miguel Cotto.
Zina said, when you fought Cotto, what happened? Because everybody was talking that you should have knocked Cotto out.
And Clottey comes back with a great left hook to the body and a terrific uppercut.
The Cotto-Clottey fight was an either-way fight. I thought it was his fight to win. I thought he was beating Miguel Cotto to the punch. The cut over Miguel Cotto's eye was causing him problems.
As the blood flows again from Cotto's left eye.
In the 11th and 12th rounds, Clottey has what amounts to a dead man in front of him. And he allows Cotto to throw enough punches and win the fight.
The winner by split decision, Miguel Cotto.
What the fight cruising? I was chasing Cotto. If Cotto is chasing me, it's a different story. I was chasing him. The fight, they robbed me.
In the days following the disappointment, Clottey fired his trainer, and when the call for Pacquiao came, Clottey wanted Ghanaian coach Alloway to step in. 8 weeks before the fight, though, Alloway was still in Ghana, stalled by visa issues. In need of filling the position, Clottey promoted his cutman, Lenny DeJesus.
I've been in the boxing game for 47 years. I've been an advisor, trainer, cutman, but in this case, I work both cutman and head trainer.
You know, Lenny DeJesus, he's been around boxing a long time. He's one of these real New York boxing characters.
That's the way to do it. Beautiful.
I think for me, the question is Joshua Clottey spending his training camp listening to Lenny DeJesus rather than trying to get Coach Alloway into the United States?
He respects me, I respect him, and we talk certain points. I don't throw too many things at once, because when you throw too many things at once, you confuse the fighter. But I got the key to beating Manny Pacquiao.
The keys to boxing strategy are not the only ones familiar to DeJesus.
I'm a security specialist in New York City. I'm a locksmith. Been doing that 47 years, because you have to fall on something when you don't do boxing, so that's what I do.
At the LDJ keymaking shop in Queens, the decor is a tribute to a career in the ring. But one ex-client's photo is distinctly missing.
I had the pleasure of working with Manny Pacquiao. Well, I was the cutman, more or less, and the advisor in case that anything happened in the corner with Freddie Roach. I would take over as the main principal in the corner.
From 2003 to 2005, DeJesus worked as a cutman for Pacquiao's showdowns against Marco Antonio Barrera, Juan Manuel Marquez, and Eric Morales.
I don't need to watch any tapes because I already have Manny in my mind, how he fights. I mean, Freddie Roach maybe put a little knowledge and stuff like that, a little techniques. He'll be the same guy that I saw 5 years ago. Never changed.
Manny Pacquiao is a much more rounded, much more dangerous, altogether more versatile fighter than the last time that Lenny DeJesus was in his corner. And I think you better be watching some tape.
The more I watch Clottey, the more confident I get. He's strong, comes forward, fights in straight lines, has a passive defense. I thought this fight was going to go the distance, but After studying the tapes over and over again, I have a different opinion now. Manny will be the first one to stop him. He'll make him quit.
It is an opinion born of success for one of boxing's supreme pairings. Freddie Roach, the boxing writer's 4-time trainer of the year, and Manny Pacquiao, the fighter of the decade. But a third man plays a vital role in Team Pacquiao. Though a recent addition to Pacquiao's corner, strength coach Alex Ariza first began working with fighters in the late 90s. After a brief hiatus, he returned to boxing 2 years ago, jumping at a chance to work for Freddie Roach.
I cold-called Freddie pretty much on the phone, told him who I had worked with, and I had experience in boxing. So Freddie said, send me your resume, and, we'll see.
I said, if I hire you, you're not going to make any money. I says, because you're going to have to work with all my fighters. And I says, and then I'll introduce you to Pacquiao when we start training camp with Pacquiao. If you guys get together and if you guys click, then that'll be your first payday.
I just started making suggestions that, maybe you need to start changing things, start evolving your training, changing things up, doing things differently. Manny wasn't really sure of any of that kind of stuff yet, so when I would try to come up with something new, he would look at Freddie and wait for Freddie to say, yeah, it's okay. Go ahead, try it. Once he knew that Freddie trusted me and gave me that responsibility, that's where everything started changing.
Ow! Him and Manny Pacquiao have clicked. They have a good rapport together. I'm happy for him because he came to LA, worked for free for 6 months, paid his dues a little bit, and now he's doing well.
To be working as the right-hand guy of Freddie Roach and also training Manny Pacquiao, it's just surreal. And I'm like, wow, how did this all happen so fast?
Ariza has helped Pacquiao move up 3 weight classes. But as the weight has increased, so too has the challenge to maintain it.
My problem is I have to eat a lot, eat more, because if I don't eat more, I'm gonna get small.
My guy's really not a 47-pounder. He's probably, best weight's probably 135, maybe 140. And the thing is, that's why we gotta feed him 5 times a day and put the protein shakes in front of him, so he keeps the weight on.
It's very difficult having to stay on him, having to force him to eat when he just doesn't want to eat, having to constantly have him snacking, because the level that he trains at, the intensity, people who have seen him train, he's a workhorse. We have to sustain what we're trying to put on him, and that's the only way to do it.
Both fighters can come in as heavy as 147 pounds, which is huge for Clottey, because he'll probably weigh 160 pounds on fight night. He's like a rock. His body is made out of iron.
I don't think weight is going to be an issue because he's eating the proper food. We have a very good chef. His name is Alligator.
Joshua is simple, Everything is about healthy. Yeah. Making sure that Joshua will be 100% fit.
4 years ago, Kwaku Gator Gyamfi met Clottey in the Bronx. In Florida, his duties are manifold, but most crucial is cooking for his fighter each evening.
Joshua's food is a salmon. So all you need is a little slice and the veggies, that's it. From that time, you used to hold him to the next day.
I eat morning and evening, but I drink a lot. I drink a lot of Gatorade, fruits, water.
Team Clottey lives together under one roof, and in the evening, Clottey peruses boxing websites, many predicting Pacquiao as a heavy favorite.
It doesn't make me upset, but it makes me stronger. It makes me feel like I have to prove them wrong.
Each day, Clottey entrusts a higher power to predict his path.
I believe in God. I pray to God to take care of me in the ring, make sure that whatever happens, whatever I give it to me, I'll take it. But I should make sure that I come out good.
As morning unfolds, in accordance with his Muslim faith, Clottey cleanses himself and prays before turning to more secular sources of strength.
lot of people underestimate him. Pacquiao is the ticket seller. He's the big attraction. He's the John Wayne of the movie here. That's what we're going to try to take away.
Manny Pacquiao is very, very fast. The only thing I know is that he never fought me before. I have so much courage and so much determination.
Joshua Clottey is a more difficult and potentially a more dangerous fighter for Pacquiao at welterweight than Miguel Cotto was.
He is a solid, strong, technically skilled counterpuncher.
If he can actually finally be all the Joshua Clottey that he can be for 12 rounds, he can do this. He has the physical weapons. It is possible. The odds are against it simply because Pacquiao has so many more weapons and the feeling of invincibility that comes across the very best.
Manny Pacquiao is no different than any other boxer. I mean, you know, he's a human being. We hit him right. If we knock him out, you win the fight.
It's unbelievable that he's still hungry after winning 7 world titles and being a rock star, a movie star, and a national icon for his country. I'm still waiting for that day to come when he comes through those doors and he doesn't have that work ethic. It hasn't happened yet.
Over 30 years ago, in countries 8,000 miles apart, 2 boys set out on different paths, which ultimately led them to this place. One seeks to extend a legacy that has brought him glory and worldwide fame. The other hopes to upend that legacy to start one of his own. They are servants to the pride of 2 nations, admired by choruses of fans and single voices. Guided by studied instincts to strengths and flaws, they refine instinct and hone skill, pursuing a mastery of the moment. On March 13th, one hopes to begin a journey that the other has completed, to start with so little and become so much. Saturday, March 13th, don't miss Manny Pacquiao versus Joshua Clottey, live on HBO Pay-Per-View. 24/7 returns to HBO April 10th with Floyd Mayweather and Shane Mosley. Follow both champions behind the scenes as they prepare for their much-anticipated matchup on May 1st, only on HBO Pay-Per-View.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.